All right. Well, Adriane, let's start with what exactly you're doing these days, where you're at, all that current stuff.
Well, currently I live in Columbia, South Carolina. I work for the ARCPs. It's the Army Recovery Care Program. I'm
Okay.
the operations specialist. Basically, what I do is I help out with any event planning dealing with adapted sport for our Army's Recovery Care Program. And on top of
Very
that, I
cool.
still work at the gym. So I'm still a personal trainer at the gym, and I coach track and the field part with local high school kids. And then I'm still involved in USA Paralympic throwing, so with track and field.
Just can't ever get away from it, can you?
No, I love it.
So let's take you back to the pre-Ashland University days and Boardman, Ohio. And how did you end up going from there to Ashland?
Well, I grew up in Boardman. I went to Boardman High School. I loved being home. And right before my senior year, unfortunately, my dad passed away. And so that was another reason why I wanted to stay close to home when it was time to go to college. And at that time, I was thinking local, local, local. I looked into Youngstown State University, and that was one of my top choices. But my high school coach, Denise Gorski, gave me that little nudge to check out Ashland. She said, "I just heard the most wonderful things from the coach, Ashland, as Judd Logan at the time." And she said, "You need to go check it out." So I included Ashland in one of my visits and just fell in love with it. As soon as my mom and I got in the car after the visit, we're like, "This is a pretty cool place. I really like it here." So I have
Excellent.
my high school coach to thank for that.
All right. Well, when I think about Boardman, Ohio, I think of two people, you and Bernie Kosar. But this video is about you, so we're not going to get into Bernie. So you're here at Ashland in the early 2000s with other great throwers. So what was it like for you to be among that group that
Oh, gosh.
probably won't ever get repeated as much talent as you had in that group?
We had an extremely special group that time period. Let's see, my freshman year, I was a redshirt. I graduated high school in '98, so I had a couple of years in the '90s as an Ashland athlete. But yes, Jackie Jessling, we had Rich Holm, we had Megan Montoni, we had TJ Kanowski, we had Brad Shook. I mean, I'm naming all these incredible athletes that chose Division II, and they excelled in their own ways in any division. I loved that with Ashland. We had pretty much a D1 schedule. We'd go to Ohio State, we'd go to Cincinnati. We would travel the United States to these meets because we were competitive enough that we belong there. And that's how I got my experience in track and field, is that there really wasn't any division. We just competed the best we could and ended up sometimes with the win. So that was pretty awesome.
And you end up with 7 national championships and 13 All-American awards yourself. So that kind of codifies what you said, is you can go anywhere and compete against the quote-unquote big boys.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I was very fortunate that, again, with our training group, it was electric. We just were so supportive of each other, and we pushed each other just in the right way. That if we need that little boost in the weight room, if we need that boost out in the field, that we were there to help each other and to make them a better thrower. I know that competing with my roommates at the time, it was a special time. I don't know if I could ever duplicate that in another venue of any sort, but it was the teammates, and certainly was the coach. The coach definitely nurtured that type of support and intensity. Coach Logan at the time was still training himself, and he made the 2004 Olympic Games when he went down to Sydney. So to be a part of that and to see how he trained and how he projected that to the athletes and showed the example, it was a really just an unforgettable experience, and so instrumental to how I structure my training even now.
You mentioned Judd, and you mentioned Judd. We're getting close to another anniversary of his passing. What did he mean to you?
Oh, that's a very loaded question, Dusty. He was such. He was my light giver. He showed me the way that I didn't know even existed. I just enjoyed track and field. I loved throwing. It was fun, and it wasn't until I got to Ashland and he just nurtured this environment of of finding out who you were as an athlete, who you were as a person, and just highlighting your strengths and building on that, and allowing you to explore, just the next level, and feeling supported and in every way. So he wasn't just, the coach in the weight room, or coach in the field. Like he would help you nurture just your personal relationships, and how you wanted to grow as a young man or woman, so I am extremely grateful for his just guidance, and just the love that he had for all of his athletes. Every athlete was very special to him, and I felt extremely special as well.
Really cool. So when you got done with all of your collegiate accolades and all that, you weren't done throwing. What happened after, in the post-collegiate era?
Well, gosh, Coach Logan just, built us up so much that I decided, yes, I want to train for the Olympics. I believe I am good enough to make the hardest team in the United States. And that would be the 2004 games was in Athens, Greece. And so in 2003, that was right at the end of my collegiate career. So it was nice to move right into that professional realm. So I finished I almost finished my degree. I just had student teaching left, and continued training on for the 2004 trials. My best finish there was fifth. So I finished fifth at the trials. And I only take top three, though. So it was pretty close. But I continued training on through the 2008 and then the 12 trials as well.
Very cool. So then after that, you end up going into our Hall of Fame in 2014, and then in the National D2 Athlete Hall of Fame in 2018. So what was it like in both instances to be recognized as one of the top athletes of your era?
Well, it was a huge honor. It is a huge honor. There's so many tremendous athletes that have gone through the D2 program that are still competitive. Again, we talk about just outside of D2 and at the D1 level, just at the professional level, that it's not just, a level of competition. It's just the opportunity that you have in that university. And Ashland just provided just an incredible just opportunity with Coach Gallagher and Coach Logan, just looking big picture. So to be recognized and within the division, but also nationally, it's a huge honor, because I know the type of work that all these athletes are putting in, and I'd like to say that I match that or better that kind of work to be there.
And I'm looking right here on my screen at the USTF CCCA website, and you're still number one in the shot put outdoors in Division II.
Oh, okay.
And you're still number 3 in the shot put in D2 indoors.
All right.
So to still have your name there 20 some plus years later, what is that like?
That's a pretty nice feeling to have, that I can leave a nice little mark on the record books to just, again, solidify the work and just the incredible time I had as an Ashland thrower. And it's been just a kind of help defining of how I like to pursue my future endeavors. That I know that it takes a lot of hard work and dedication, and that recognition of being, still one of those top marks from the past, knowing that I did the best I could. The cat.
Oh, we have 6 cats, so that's why I'm not doing this at home. We could have had all kinds of cats running through this.
I was going to be at the gym, but I'm like, I better go home. It's going to be a lot more quiet there.
So, Adriane, finally, and I like to close these with this question. You're down in the Carolinas, so this may not happen, but if you come back home, somebody comes up to you and says, my daughter, my son, somebody I know, thinking about going to Ashland University, what would your sales pitch be?
Oh my goodness. Actually, it has happened. I worked with a local gal who, she lives in just real close to the North Carolina border, but in Rock Hill. I was able to convince her to head up to one of the Ashland camps, and she loved it. Wow. So I still push for the Ashland, because it's an experience. There's a lot of attention to detail, and it is someplace special, as we all know. But it's Ashland. I was always very surprised after my visit, just how at home I felt. Honey bun. And then also just the amount of care that not only the faculty, but the athletes there too, they're there for a purpose. and with the facilities, with the growing academics that's going on, it's just a really nice place to consider. It's centrally located in Ohio. It was actually very easy to get where we needed to go. So as far as travel went, and just with the growth of Ashland, it can be comparable to any other school that just maybe just a little bit better.